Okay, sending the emails out now. Yes, it's late. Yes, we're 6 minutes late, but oh well, who cares? Let's get the damn thing over with. It's one hell of an evening. So, that's one hell of a monstrosity. Clover's emails are distracting me. Blame Clover. These emails are getting me distracted. All right, so Friday night strike. There's that. What's the date? 12/20/2019. Oh God, it's almost over. What are we gonna do? Let's send this one to the Giz. And who else do we normally invite to this shindig? I'm going to exclude certain individuals because of the other day. Who else? Squib. Let's give Squib. I do not know which one to send to. Yeah, I'm going to send it to the Jersey Whales. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Welcome everyone to Friday Night Strike. I'm your host, Night Strike. I sent some emails out. I can send a couple more out if any of you out there want to jump in and and talk. That's fine. But yeah, it's been an awful day. It's been an awful day. A little tired, a little frustrated, unhappy, just the usual. I'm Night Strike, I guess. There we go. Anyways. All right, so who do we got out here? Let's count. We've got Scott P79. We've got Kingpin. We've got Jacob S. We've got John 12 Gauge. We've got John Brown Productions. Oh my. Jason Stewart is out there. Who else is out there? Who else? Gun Websites is out there. Hey, G Webs, how's it going? Who else? Who else do we have? We've got DTM 62. Where you been, dude? A certain Tulsa gun snob is out there. Watch out. The gun snob himself is out there. Thought I sent an invite to Stacy, not the snob. Hey, there we go. There's a good name for your new sitcom, Stacy and the Snob. So there we go. What's going on, Kingpin? You are muted, my friend.
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm just trying to find Stacy's email so I can send her a link if she wants to jump in. Even if she's busy, I still promise to send her a link. So you know how that goes. We can't be sexist or anything. Or
I mean, we could be, but
I don't want to be. I want to be a good person. Damn it.
That takes too much time.
Yeah, I know. I know it does. I just can't find her email. I know I sent her an email, but I just can't find it. It's probably at the bottom of the list or something. There we go. There it is.
The female's email's at the bottom of the list, and you're not a sexist.
Relative bottom. It's kind of towards the middle, actually. But
at least Mitt Romney. At least Mitt Romney's binder full of women was full of women.
Well, what can I say? I'm an equal opportunist. Don't have a response to that one. Yeah. I'm sure the chat out there is eating me alive right now, and that's okay because how's that different than any other day? All right, so let's see what they're saying.
Vandal checked in.
Jacob S is asking, why have I had a bad day today? Don't ask. You know what? Some days you have good days, some days you have bad days. Today is just one of those bad days where you wish you had stayed in bed and cut yourself off from the world, but unfortunately you had to get up, you had to go out there, and you had to face it. And that's what happened today. So that's where we're at. You know, if Kingpin has any time off air, I'll tell him what's going on, but I'm not telling everybody in the world because I don't want people to laugh at me. I get enough of that from you guys every day. All right. Who else is out there? Okay, we got Vanessa Kitty out there. Hello, Vanessa. Gun websites. It says it's more like Karen and the Creep. Well, yeah, that's probably true. It's probably true. Snob says, "Hey, I'm driving any really chat." Okay, well, I'll let us know when we have a really chat. So D-Temp62 is calling him Sir Gun Snob Esquire. I don't think he's an Esquire. You have to be a lawyer for that, I think. Vandalistica Vlogs is out there. Isn't it past your bedtime?
I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Okay. Vandalistica Vlogs says, wouldn't eat you if you were a Chilean soccer team on the side of a mountain in the snow. Good. Scott P79, we only troll you because you make it so easy. I'm not trying to make it easy. The problem is, you know how Tetris works with the blocks fitting into place? That kind of things just kind of fit into place to give you guys opportunities. That's all it is. I'm gonna. Yeah, Snob's being a dick. No. I guess he was out trying to milk the bulls again. Jason Stewart says, Yankee says Colt Pythons are back. Great, and I still can't afford one. NY Outcast says, the AK got better. You got the better half? Wow, okay. Well, what did G say? I don't see what G says. Okay. All right, anyways. He can't really chat. Okay, all right. And Vanaliscus Vlog says it's 9:15 a.m. Okay, well, good morning. Good morning. He's been up for 6 hours already. I'm sorry. Ghost Shadow says, stupid YouTube, I got notice after joining channel. Yeah, I got that same thing. And I started it, so oops. All right. So, let's see. I'm not a dick. That damn bongo mic stand is annoying as hell. Well, it's not moving right now, so I don't know what the problem is. Let me listen, because I don't hear anything. Let's see. Yeah, it's not moving. So there we go. It's not moving. Okay, Ghost Shadow says at Night Strike, still can't find gunsmith that can put a liner in my barrel of my Colt Army special. Well, what you could do is you could contact Mark Novak here in Goose Creek, South Carolina. Not Goose Creek. He's in where is it? It's Myrtle. No, it's not Myrtle. Mount Pleasant. That's where he is. He's in Mount Pleasant. You can contact Mark Novak. I'm pretty sure he'd do it. But again, I do know he does charge kind of pricey prices. So, but again, I know he'll do it because he's done that stuff before. So, yeah, that's the problem with some gunsmiths. And don't take this the wrong way, but I've looked at going and getting an apprenticeship with a gunsmith and just fixing parts and swapping parts. When it comes to having to do any custom work, like fixing things that have broken a long time ago or having to make new parts, I don't necessarily want to do it. I really don't want to fix anybody else's guns entirely because, well, one, you have a risk factor. Two, I don't really want to, fix people's fuck ups. That's one of my problems. I mean, if you screwed the gun up yourself, you should be able to fix it yourself. Now, if you can't fix it yourself, well, then you need to take someone to get it fixed, and then you don't need to not fuck with it again. That's my stance. It's not the right one, but again, I'm allowed my own opinion, even if it is right or wrong. I'm allowed an opinion. But you know what they say about opinions? They're like assholes. Everyone's got one. So, there's that. So, and the Kingpin is back again.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those nights. I might have to switch over to the phone.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be your web browser or something, dude. You might need to clear the cache or completely clear your history.
I doubt it.
Well, there shouldn't be any reason why it's not working. I mean, do you have any ad blockers or anything added in Chrome or something?
No, I turn all that stuff off and clear out the history and do all that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Did we just lose Night Strike? Are you here, Night Strike?
Yes, can you jump out and jump back in?
Jump out and jump back in, is that what you said?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So. Yeah, YouTube's sabotaging me already because, it's things aren't going their way. Anyways, so all right. Ghost Shatter says all the guns. That's right. Now here they require extra license insurance if gunsmith has a lathe. Yes, it's because with a lathe you can make two things in particular. You can make barrels, or you can make silencers with a lathe. That's why. Wow, I switched to the laptop. There are ads on this chat. Yes, there are. Like that. There are ads everywhere. Ghost Shadow says at Night Strike, if they have a tool to cut or rethread a barrel, they get classified as a firearm manufacturer. Yes, some gunsmithing can make them a manufacturer, even if they're only replacing a broken part with an existing part, and that part isn't serialized. they'll put that on them anyways. But anyways,
Did you see where the two Carnival cruise ships crashed into each other?
I did not see that yet.
I just caught the clip of it for the first time. It's funny.
Really?
It's not like tragic. It only tears apart like the last like maybe 10 feet of one area of a boat. But it's still pretty crazy that two huge ships are close enough to hit each other.
Yeah. Let's see. There's that noise again. There's no noise. It's not moving, so I don't know why you're saying there's a noise there. Do you have any topics? No, this chat isn't about topics. It's about kind of hanging out and just talking about anything. Mostly just talking to the people out there on the YouTube side. But, if anybody who jumps in here has a topic, we can talk about that. At DTM62, not a chance, Jason Stewart says. I've noticed that beeping at several channels. Yes. YouTube has been really cramming ads on channels. Seen 3 ads before video starts. Yes. Gizzard Gary says, WTF, a Dr. Squatch ad in the middle of this? Yeah, they're throwing ads everywhere. Gizzard Gary says, bullshit, it's not me just hearing it. It is just you hearing it, because I'm listening to it as well.
Yeah, I don't hear anything this time.
So I am listening to myself talk. It's awkward, but there you go. So, yeah, Snob says he hears it, but his hearing is already shot because he works on a farm with all those cows. So he hears nothing but 2 Live Moo all day long. So I was just saying. But 2 Live Moo, this one's for you. It is utter chaos. It is. And I know that one's bad. Jacob S. Blooping sound to me. Yeah, well, you don't hear it right now, do you? I don't think so. It's the NY Outcast says it's the NSA. Scott P79 says it's probably the ATF listening in. Yes, it probably is. David Ramirez says, hello, everyone. Hello, David. It's okay. The ads help Night Strike. Not really. I haven't got a payout from YouTube yet, so. I mean, I've got about... Because remember, if you do AdSense won't... AdSense, whether you get Super Chats or AdSense, they won't pay you out unless you get $100. And I haven't gotten that. So, there we go. Things are pretty slow. Slower than 2 Live Moo grazing out in the pasture. Jason Stewart says, I hear it some. I don't hear it because I'm not touching the mic stand. The mic isn't moving. It's the deep state getting intel on that Night Strike. Yes, it might be. Yeah. Anyways. Representative Matt Shea in Spokane Valley has been linked to domestic terrorism. Really? Kingpin, you know anything about this?
Negative. This is the first I've heard of it.
Because if that's true, I'd like to hear about that. What is he? Is he one of those people that aided Antifa? So now, is he a Democrat? I bet he is. Spokane, Washington, a Washington state lawmaker took part in domestic terrorism against the United States during a 2016 standoff at a wildlife refuge in Oregon and trained young people to fight a holy war, according to investigative reporter released Thursday. Okay, but they're saying this guy's a Republican. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy he's a Republican.
Well, what I'm reading here, it says, as your state representative, I will continue to defend liberty, stand up for people against an overreaching government, and uphold the Constitution. That's what his little House Republican WA.gov says. But I haven't seen the story where he's linked to terrorism yet.
We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in Washington yet lately, have we? Considering 1639, right? So I'm sorry to bring up 1639. It's just Washington got a raw deal on that.
Washington got exactly what they asked for.
No, because Yankee tried to fight against it,
Yeah. Well.
And he did it live too. So they're still trying to fight it, but Lord knows. Anyways. So what's going on with you, Kingpin? Anything interesting today?
No, I don't know. I think the story that I'm reading right now is from the LA Times, and you can't trust those. And they're trying to make the guy sound like he's a monster. And this was back in 2016 that it happened.
Was he a Democrat in 2016?
No, it says Washington state lawmaker took part in a domestic terrorism against the United States during a 2016 standoff at a wildlife refuge in Oregon and traveled throughout the West, meeting with far-right extremist groups. So right there, that's a problem right there, because we know what the Los Angeles Times thinks that far-right extremist groups are, according to an investigation report released Thursday. Yeah, I doubt it's probably a hit piece. I mean, the guy's probably not an angel, but it's probably a hit piece.
Probably. All right. Let's see. At night strike, 73% of Eastern Washington voted against 1639. Well, that's Eastern Washington. What about Western Washington? Jacob S. At night strike. Question for you. What would a good cheap scope setup be from what company, including the rings? I am not a scope guy. I am an iron sights guy. So, Kingpin, you're up.
I, too, am an iron sights guy, but I know that you can get a Barsky rather cheap. You can get center points pretty cheap. And if you're just target shooting with it and not looking to put food on your table or defend yourself against the zombies from a long distance, then you can get a center point or a Barsky or something like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But again, I'm not the guy to talk about scope. I'll talk about optics. That is not my field of expertise.
Yeah, if you get a cheap scope, I do know that you got to be careful when you tighten it down, because if you over tighten any of those screws, you'll crack the glass inside of those cheap ones.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you need a cheap scope, I would talk to my good buddy Travis P11. He has tested and reviewed all shapes and sizes of scopes. The man has even reviewed, the type of coffee he drinks, and even on a hit or miss chat, reviewed which peanut butter he likes best. So I would seriously ask Travis P11 about scopes. All right. Gunstop says if you don't vote, you get what you get. Yeah, that's true. I vote. I don't always get what I want. Two Live Moves says, did you see the Philly FedEx driver getting shot in a robbery and shot back and killed the POS at Night Strike 1? I did not see that.
Yeah, he's in trouble though, because
he brought a gun with him to work.
Well, no, he didn't have a carry permit.
Ooh, that's a problem.
And of course, the corrupt media is focusing on the fact that he was carrying a gun illegally.
Okay, they're talking about that Matt Shia guy. They're saying Vanaliska says he sounds like he's some kind of eco-terrorism advocate from what the Guardian is saying. Yeah, but seldom does the newspaper tell you the whole truth. Gun Snob is driving home. Arson Tony says there are far right groups like there are far left groups. That's exactly true. There's
yeah, but
two sides of the spectrum.
Right, but I'd like to be careful when I talk about far right groups, because everybody considers Nazis to be far right groups when they're as far from the right as you can possibly be. Anytime that you classify a conservative as right wing, you can't classify a Nazi as right wing or white supremacist when the KKK is right wing.
Technically, Nazis are far left. The only thing close to basically the ideology, okay? Because the original Nazis were the Germans, the Socialist German Workers' Party or something like that. So they were technically far left. The only thing that made them anywhere close to the two right was, and I mean right as in direction, was the fact that they were also nationalists. Okay.
No.
Yeah. No. Yes. Yes.
No. It's not. The only thing that made them far right or right at all is they were fighting communists, which is another step to the left of socialism.
Technically, on the spectrum, the Nazi comes before communist.
That's what I'm saying. You got your socialist Nazi, whatever, and then a little further to the right, or to the left rather, is communism.
Yeah. On the opposite side of the spectrum, if you go further right, you get fascism. And
yeah, but that's still fascism's not even. That's what I'm saying. I go back to my original statement.
Well, no,
if you're gonna call conservatives right wingers, you can't call fascists right wingers.
But it's the political scale, and that whole scale is messed up as it is. All right, let's get back to it. It really is. Calaveras 32 Special says, "Hell, I have not missed voting in an election since I turned 18. Never gotten what I wanted at Night Strike." Well, California isn't technically the place for those who aren't far left. That's all I can say.
Fuzz.
Jason Stewart makes a good point. How can you carry a constitutional right illegally? Well, ask your state that. How they can illegally take away a constitutional right, and they'll tell you. And they'll tell you it was legal too. All right. Let's see. We got the two-gun kitty catnip outlaw out there saying, "How's it going?" Yes, you get what you deserve when you don't vote. That's true. He also says, "I got the UTG Bug 3x9 for under $70 with mount on Amazon earlier this year." Well, yeah, if you just need something inexpensive, you can get UTG. They're not necessarily, quality, but they'll work. I mean, well, UTG is better than NC Star, I say. Right? You'd agree with that, wouldn't you, Kingpin? UTG is better than NC Star?
Yeah, I've got some UTG stuff, and it seems all right to me.
Yeah, so there's that. So if you need a cheap UTG scope, I mean, you could probably get away with that. Finesse Kitty says far up and far down, far forward, far backward, far left, far right, far diagonal left, far diagonal right, far diagonal down, far diagonal right. I mean, up, down, left, right. I don't know. These directions are killing me. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Vandalistic Vlog says National Socialist German Workers' Party is what it was. Yes, they were socialists and they were nationalists at the same time. Okay? So, apparently most socialists and communists don't like nationalism. And because of that, that's why the Nazis are different. But not everyone is a Nazi. One, not all of us are German. And two, while I am very patriotic, that doesn't mean I'm nationalist. Being patriotic about your country is one thing. Patriotism is one thing, and it should not be misconstrued for another. Isn't that right, David?
Yeah, I'd have a problem with you if you didn't support the country that you lived in. Unless,
right.
of course, you live in
California,
an oppressive country.
You mean like California? I mean like California or Maryland, right? Well, technically, those aren't countries, but they sure kind of want to be their own countries. So, I think I got another text message. They're gearing up for the German Strudel chat. Or Strudel gameplay chat. So I may have to cut this early so that I can go German Strudel chat. But all right. What else? Jacob S says, how bad are concealed carry laws where you are? Well, they're not too bad at all because I'm in South Carolina. They're not too bad, but they could be better.
They're terrible where I live at.
Yeah, you can't even carry. I mean, you have to say thank you and bend over for them to even allow you to have guns.
Yeah, we have concealed carry here, but it's almost impossible to get a concealed carry license here.
Even out in the country?
Oh yeah, it's statewide. The state police run the firearms stuff here, so it doesn't matter if you're in Baltimore City or way out in like Washington County or whatever.
So what you're saying is your state police are corrupt, and the only way to get a concealed carry license is to grease the palms of certain state police.
You'd probably be better off greasing some politicians' hands because the politicians set all the rules that the police have to follow by. But there's pretty much effectively one person that sits down and reads all the paperwork and all the stuff when you buy a gun. So one person's making that decision effectively. I mean, no, it's not literally one person, but it's not like groups and groups of people. There's a very, very small handful of people who make those decisions here.
Yeah. All right, so Vanaliska Vlog says that DCM62, it's the button code for Mortal Kombat on Sega to turn the blood effects on. Maybe in Australia it was, but in the United States of frickin' America, my Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat had blood. The only console of that time period that did not have blood was, if you remember, they didn't have blood in the Super Nintendo version because they made it steam or gray instead. You remember that, Kingpin? And actually, that might be before your time.
What are we talking? Which game are we talking about?
The original Mortal Kombat for consoles.
Yeah, I don't remember.
because I remember the Sega had the blood because Sega didn't care, but Nintendo was iffy about that, so they made the blood either gray or they made it not red.
Well, I'll go ahead and make everybody mad at me again. Mortal Kombat is a terrible game, so I never played it very much.
So you sucked that bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too, but even if I was good, I wouldn't like it. I like Soul Calibur and stuff like that. Even Street Fighter better.
I love Street Fighter. I have all of them. So, all right. Two Gun Kitty Cat and Outlaw has said Albuquerque was named 7th in the top 10 violent cities by the feds. Another bastion of liberal policies. Well, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and the prize you get from voting in Democrats, that's your prize. So, all right. What else?
Yeah, Snob makes a good point. I'm like 10 years older than you are.
He is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I won't argue. Vandalistic Log says, I'm playing catch-up, so he says, I'm getting Modern Warfare for Christmas. Can't wait to show you Nancy's how it's done. Well, you'd have to get on Matt's Discord in order to show us how it's done. And I near far as I can tell, I don't see no Australians jumping in there. So, Two Gun Kitty Cat Outlaw says in New Mexico, CCW shall issue after a 16-hour course and $100 to get the license. 16 hours? 16 hours? Mine was an 8-hour course. I fell asleep during the course. I did the shooting portion of the course. I still passed.
Maryland, we have a 16-hour classroom and 8-hour range in order to get your purchase license, which is really just a shopping license because you can still get denied even though you got your license.
Okay. At Jacob S. at Night Strike, the only fighting games are Super Smash Brothers, and that's it. Yeah, that's about it. All right. Southpaw RX is out there. Hey, Southpaw, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Ghost Shadow says at Night Strike, Far Cry, keep shooting guy in gut with shotgun and intestines start showing. Yes, that's Far Cry. I played the first, the second, the third, and I didn't play the fourth. I played the fifth. But that's about it. All right, moving on. Artisan Tony says Australians read books, laugh out loud. Well, I think pretty much everybody reads books at this point, but if they are just now starting to read books, well, congratulations. Vandalistic Vlog says, at Night Strike, do you have Street Fighter II Championship Edition with the weird projectiles and character swapping? I think that's called Taiwan Edition in some cases. I've got all the editions. I even have, Street Fighter II, the movie video game. It's not as good. Yeah. All right. Ghost Shadow says Washington requires a class. I was exempt due to military service. Well, Ghost Shadow, shame on you for using loopholes. Shame. And thank you for serving our country. Southpaw RX says Alabama, no class required. Well, that's what you get when you date your cousin. That's what you get. Southpaw RX says, glad to be here at Night Strike. Yep. That's how it goes. Vandalistic Vlog says Far Cry Instincts was great. So-so.
You like playing games on your computer with like your keyboard and your mouse, or do you prefer like actual console video games like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo?
On my key, I like playing keyboard and mouse. I have a joystick for flight simulators, and then I've got a regular gamepad for some games that require it. So I've got the ultimate PC setup. Like I even enjoy playing racing games, so I have the racing the racing steering wheel for racing games. I play lots of video games, not just a certain specific set. But again, there you go. I'm getting to you. And the list of the vlog says Sawada. Okay. At Night Strike, I doubt. Ghost Shadow says at Night Strike, I doubt many of the new kids would even know how to open a book. They would keep searching for the on button. Ooh, that's awful. Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw says, I correct myself. 8 hours plus pass shooting test to get CCW. My class, we did shooting on day 2, shot 250 rounds, and seems like a 16-hour class, but second day was fun. Yeah, my class, they only made us shoot 50 rounds. Oh. Southpaw RX says, at Night Strike, date or marry? Well, that's entirely up to how pretty your cousin is. And how much beer you've been drinking that night. Vandalistic Vlog says, unsubbed. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, buddy. But I'll miss you. John Brown Productions says that Night Strike Americans read Twitter, not books. I doubt that. I doubt every single American in this country does not read books. I know we read Twitter an awful lot because, well, that's just the way things are. But even I read books. Even I read books. The Gun Stop says some of us don't have the free time to play so many video games. Well, I don't play all of them all at once, Gun Snob. I only play them every so often. Lately, all I've been playing is Modern Warfare with Matt and everybody. That's it. That's all I've been playing. But I do play other games occasionally as well. So, there you go. But not all the time. There's a time and a place for everything. Vandalistic Vlog says Captain Sawada was in the Street Fighter, the movie, the game, and the worst version of Akuma ever. Yeah, definitely. All right, which one is you, Kingpin? Speak now or forever hold your pasta.
I fixed it. I got it on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
It doesn't always happen. It only happens sometimes, but when it does happen, it happens a lot.
Ghost Shadow says, I don't have or read Twitter. You shouldn't. It's an awful habit. I would love to drop it, but because I do stuff on YouTube, I kind of have to have a social media presence. I don't like using Facebook. I don't like using Twitter. I really don't even like using Instagram, but I have to because I have a YouTube channel. So guess what? You either got to do it or not do it at all, and don't do YouTube. So, but I'm stuck with. Oh well. All right. Jacob S says I read a 1,000-page book a week when I have unlimited time, and I enjoy the content. Well, there you go. Books are good. Books are good. Southpaw RX says at Gunsnob, same here. Pass on video games. Work, eat, sleep, 2A, repeat. Yep. D1062 says Twitter is a cesspool. It is. It really is. I don't like being on it. I don't like using it. Go ahead, Kingman.
I like playing video games, but to be completely honest, Super Nintendo was the last one that I was any good at. And maybe the first generation of PlayStation, there was a few games I was good at. But as the games got more complicated and the controllers got more intricate, I had to hang up my my video gaming. I just couldn't keep up.
That's why I use the mouse and keyboard. It's really easy. WASD, shift to run, spacebar to jump, C to crouch, and then again the mouse left click is shoot, right click is aim. Pretty easy. So, anyways, so Tony says, I love old books. Check out thriftbooks.com. It's a cool website, has cheap books. I'm going to check that out because believe it or not, just because I have digital books and I like doing the digital stuff, I do like reading regular books. So when I go out and I see a gun book, I go out and get a gun book because that's what I've been reading lately because, I've gotten into guns. It's a topic I like reading about. But I like reading, science fiction. I like reading fiction. I don't necessarily like documentaries, but if it's an interesting one, I might read it because I read one on not documentaries, but biographies. I read one on Kennedy. That was pretty good. But and then I read a book. I read the book after I read that one was a book about the Kennedy conspiracy. I had to read them in order. So, but those were good books. If you ask me to remember the names of the titles, yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't remember titles very well. All right, so Denaliska Vlog says, did y'all see the photo of the pistol wrapped in wood grain? I did not. You're gonna have to link me later. Jason Stewart says, a good woman doesn't have to be pretty, but it's pretty hard to find a good woman. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Other than that, you have to sink to what's his name, Seven Wonders level, and that'll get you in some trouble. Doing what Seven Wonders does will get you in some trouble. I don't think you want to do that. So, Gunsnob says that there isn't a law that says you have to. Ghost Shadow Sun had a GeoCities site at one time. I had several. And then I had Fortune Cities account at one point, and they were another company that did web hosting like what you call it, yeah. So anyways, Ghost Shadow says, I have an Eagle mechanical keyboard. Cool.
Does Ghost Shadow know who Squidload is? That's a question not for Ghost Shadow, not for you, for Ghost Shadow. The reason that I asked that question is he knows a lot about the mats and the cult navies and stuff like that. So he may possibly know somebody that can help gunsmith it for you.
Yes, he might. He might. So, but Ghost Shadow says he has over 300 books. I have more. I probably got upwards of a couple thousand. But I have since started collecting digital books because they're a lot easier. Yes, I realize that in case of thermonuclear war, they all go bye-bye because of one EMP. That's okay. That's why I got paper books.
I listened to The Art of War yesterday on digital book or whatever.
Oh, you did?
Audiobook,
yeah. How was it?
I enjoy it. I've read it a few times myself. I always like going back to check it out. It's got a lot of cool philosophies in there.
Yeah, I've always found that it's pretty insightful. And again, some of that stuff they have in that book, you can apply not just to war in general, but you can also apply it into the business field. You can apply it into sports. It isn't general enough to where you can literally apply it to kind of everything.
Gary said, I was on ICQ. Anybody remember that? What is that, Night Strike?
ICQ. I was on ICQ as well. ICQ was a messenger service, specifically like AOL Instant Messenger, or if you remember, what was it, MSN Messenger, or Yahoo Instant Messenger. It was a messaging program like AOL Instant Messenger or AIM, where you would just add someone. They assigned people actual numbers, and then they could make a nickname for themselves. And that specific number is what you'd use to add your friends onto your friends list and whatnot, and chat with them specifically. So there you go. I've been on the internet long enough. I remember all this old stuff. So there you go. I also remember when, since they are discontinuing it in the Chrome web browser next year. I'm gonna point this out, but I remember back in the day when Flash on websites was the hip new thing. And that was like in the late 90s, early 2000s when Flash really took off and became the hottest thing for websites.
What does that even mean? What does Flash mean? Like Flash for Dummies. You don't have to go into a super detailed, just a quick idea of what it means.
Flash was basically, it was a way to have animations and certain effects on your website that basically you coded in a separate developing application, and then when you added it onto your website, you just embedded it into the website. So I'll give you an easier example to understand. You know when YouTube first started out, all the videos were in Flash video instead of AVI, MPEG, MP4 like they are now. Originally, YouTube would only play Flash video. So any video you would upload from any other format, like Windows Media Video or WMV or AVI, they would re-encode that video into FLV, Flash video.
Okay, so I've come across where people have sent me videos and stuff like that before, where I've went to go look up something off a website, and it would say you need to download Adobe Flash drive. Okay, now yeah. I get it. Okay,
because the format's an FLV, Flash video. So that's what they're talking about. Yeah, now they're talking about file sharing was great for large files. It was back in the day. Flash, you can also make video games out of it as well and put it on your website instead of just building your website using Flash. But granted, if your website was built using Flash, it was the hip new thing of the day. So,
anybody remember Oregon Trail? That game was the hottest.
I've got it on CD.
And then
when it first came out for DOS and Windows, I got it. Yeah.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I've got that one too.
Did you ever? My friend, when computers started becoming real popular, one of my friends got a computer and he had a game called Alley Cat.
Yeah,
it was the coolest game in the world.
I liked what was it? What was it? It was about a museum, too. Anyways, I had a bunch of those games back in the day. I still have them, actually. Finite is asking, at Night Strike, ain't Flash an Adobe thing? It is an Adobe thing now. Before, it was Macromedia. Before Adobe bought them out. It used to be Macromedia Flash. It was a Macromedia Flash originally, then it became Adobe Flash. Gary mentioned it earlier. Yes, Gizzard Gary, I still have that account too. Yes, Fine 8, because I got rid of all of my 5 1/4 floppies after. No, actually, that's not a lie. That's a lie. I probably still have it on 5 1/4 floppy somewhere. I just don't know where I put those cloth floppies. I just don't.
I got another quick question for you about tech. I signed
Okay.
up. I signed up for it because a bunch of people that I know are on there, and I don't know how to use it. I don't even know what it does, and I apologize to anybody who sends me a request over there, and I don't respond because I don't use it. What
Mhm.
is LinkedIn supposed to be about?
It's basically a Facebook for business people.
Okay, well, I think Budget mentioned that he'd signed up for LinkedIn, so I went over and got an account and subscribed to him or whatever you do. And then I get emails all the time about people, wanting to me to link in with them, and I just delete the email. So if anybody's ever sent me a request over on LinkedIn and I just ignored it, I didn't do it on purpose. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, all it is just a business version of Facebook, specifically geared towards people in business. That's all it is. It's another social media platform. I mean, I use it. I'm not a fan of it. I've got GunTube on there. I don't like using it, but I use it to chat with others and whatnot because I get messages. And there you go. All right. So Rupan RX says, quit my job at VA, looking for a new one. It was Office Space. That's bad. Sounds like Rupan had the case of the Mondays. Jason Stewart says, EverQuest is the game that changed my world for 10 years. Yeah. I'm not a fan of EverQuest. Never was. Ghost Shadow says, I have Master of Orion on 5 1/4 floppy. I have TIE Fighter on 3.5 inch floppies. And X-Wing versus TIE Fighter also on floppy. I've got all of those too. And I've got X-Wing versus TIE Fighter on CD as well. The original release when they put it on CD.
Would those floppies be considered like collector's items now, or are they just nostalgia for people who are into computers?
The only way you could actually read them these days, and this is bad to say, is if you can get one of those. If it's a 3.5 floppy disk, you can still buy the USB external floppy drive and use that to read the discs. But it's purely nostalgia these days, and I don't know if they're really worth if any of the floppy disks are actually really worth anything, unless they're original. I got a lot of copies. I don't have. I have seldom few original discs because I copied all my discs, and the originals. Well, you move too many times and you start losing stuff. So
Wait a minute. What does that mean? You move too many times and you lose stuff. What's that mean? Are you talking about like move, like pack your stuff up and move to a different place and you just misplace stuff?
or you can't find it in your boxes. Yes, that
I
kind of
didn't
thing.
know. I didn't know if that meant the more times you put a floppy disk in, the more you damage it, and
No,
the more.
it
Okay.
had nothing to do with the wear of the floppy. Technically, it's magnetic, and technically, I think floppy disks. I'm not sure because they say CDs are supposed to go bad over after 20 years or something. I haven't seen that yet, but with floppies, I don't think so. I'll have to look that up. I don't remember. Rupan RX says floppy disks are nostalgia from hell. Glock 23 is out there. Hey y'all. Uh, and NY Outcast says good luck on your job, RX. Mystic Guns says hi G23. Mystic Guns is out there. I didn't see Mystic Guns. Uh, Everyone's saying hi to G23. Ghost Shadow says I have the original LucasArts mailer that the discs came in. Yes, I have I have a LucasArts boxes lying around somewhere. All right. Go Shadow says floppy can lose magnetic stored data after 10 to 50 years, depending on quality. Yeah. But if you're talking about tape drives, those will literally last 100 or so years. But I think floppies will, 10 or 20 years, yeah, they'll be fine. Or no, it's G23. It's 5 1/4 and 3 1/2. At night strike, or use an old PC with a built-in 3 1/4 floppy. Yeah, you can do that too. I'm tempted to go get parts and build an old 486 because I don't have a 486 anymore. All my 486s went the way of the dodo.
You and Travis were telling me about this off air one day when you talk about building computers. Now, I forgot, do you get into soldering chips and doing all that stuff, or you just basically get all the pieces already done and then screw them together?
Okay. When you build a computer, you're not soldering chips to a motherboard because they don't do that anymore. Because too many people screwed it up and there was too many problems, it wasn't worth it. So the companies solder the chips and everything to the motherboards themselves. The only chip when you build a computer in the modern day, the only chip you buy is the processor. And it only goes in one way, and there's a little triangle on the chip that shows you where you're supposed to put it in the socket, because the socket has that same triangle, and therefore if you're supposed to put the processor chip in the socket, where that little triangle is, so they both line up. So they're trying to make it idiot-proof. But yeah, no, you buy components. You buy the motherboard, the processor, the RAM, the hard drive, the case, and anything else you want to put in there. The graphics card, power supply.
So can you buy IBM motherboard and a Microsoft RAM kit and a Dell other computer word that I can't think of right now and put them all together, or do you got to stay with one company through? Or
well, when it comes to old 46 parts, generally it's better to use buy a pre-built system and just add on, because that's what they were built to be added on. But you could just buy the motherboard, the processor, RAM, and do the same old that you do with modern computer parts. But again, the only pitfall is you're only going to be able to install either DOS, any of the DOS versions, Windows 3.11, or Windows 95 or 98 if you're lucky.
okay,
But
now
other than that,
obviously
you'd be installing Windows 3.1.
Obviously, you're well aware that I don't know diddly squat about computers. How much?
In order to
how
use
much
a computer,
learning?
you have to have an operating system. Period.
How much computer education should I get into before I were, start buying parts and try to build my own computer right now? Like, how far away from as untech savvy as I am right now am I from being able to build a computer of my own?
Gizzard Gary, I would never use Windows ME, and I would never tell someone to use Windows ME. Just use Windows 98 or Windows 2000. ME is of the devil, like foosball. All right. Kingpin, it all depends. You can take classes. You could go and take the course to get your A+ certification, and that would teach you everything you need to know about building a computer and repairing a computer.
So definitely get some type of education and don't just go for it.
You can get education, but if you're the type of person that learns with their hands, You could just watch a shit ton of YouTube videos. Those could help too. It just depends on what your level of comfortability is. Because half the stuff I know, I learned myself, and then the other half I've taken courses for. So, all right. Yeah. All right. 120 megahertz or higher. I remember those days. Those were dark, dark days. Yeah. Yeah. Windows XP Service Pack 3. Yes, those were the days. Fine Ape shows a good point. Remember, kids, if you're buying old hardware, check all the capacitors for leaking or bulging capacitors. Which means and what that means is there's in the capacitors in your motherboard, when they break, they leak a certain substance. And when they do that, you literally have to desolder them from the motherboard and replace them with and solder in new replacements. And at that point, if you're not comfortable doing that, then don't buy it. If you don't want to do that, if you're not comfortable with doing that, your next best option is to just to build a new modern computer and just emulate all those old games using DOSBox or another form of emulation or virtualization. All right. Arson Tony says, buy an MSI laptop and forget it, Kingpin.
Obviously, you know what question is coming next. What does MSI mean?
It's a manufacturer.
How? I tell you, dude, you know that I barely know how to turn my computer on. So how am I supposed to know that?
MSI is one of the many computer parts manufacturers. Okay, they also do laptops, and they also do they do build desktops, but more often they just sell parts. But they do everything. So a lot of these companies.
All right.
Okay, so ASUS, Acer, obviously Dell. They all make computers, but MSI and ASUS also make just straight parts for people to buy and build. Okay, so
yeah, I got the. Let's see, what is this? It's an HP something Pentium processor crap. It's the cheap one at Walmart that everybody gets, is what I'm using for my laptop now. And I got it last year at the same time. Actually, my friend and his wife gave it to me for Christmas. And it's already slowing down. And it's already, glitching and stuff like that from time to time. Basically, what I want it for is to be able to watch live streams, go to gun channels, gun streamer, stuff like that. And, do what we do here on GunTube. Which should I really buy a super expensive computer, or should I just stick with these little generic ones? Well, I'm not afraid if the computer, say, just making up numbers, is $1,000, but it's totally worth it for everything that I want, and I'm not going to have to mess with it for 2 or 3 more years, then I don't mind saving up a couple extra weeks or months or whatever to afford a more expensive laptop.
Right. And what I'm going to tell you is, if you have the space, build a desktop. And the reason why is for the same amount of money you could spend for a decent laptop, you can build a desktop, and some parts you can reuse if you have to upgrade.
Yeah, here's the thing with the desktop. you're only wanting it for streaming and internet, right?
Yeah, pretty much like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you can build a PC using a Ryzen APU, like a 3000 series, a 2200 or a 3200, 3500, something along those lines, for between $350 and $400, and it'll suit your needs perfectly, about the same price as you would pay for that cheap laptop.
Yeah.
And it'll be a much better computer. You'd have more RAM.
Yeah.
You can put an SSD in there. Yeah.
But what I'm going to tell you, if you're not comfortable building your computer yourself, okay, go on YouTube and watch how to build a PC. There are a bunch of people that do it. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to tell you to listen to Linus Tech Tips, but again, Linus does know a little bit about what he's talking about. I wouldn't say he knows everything because I've seen how flaky he can be, but he's also Canadian, so that might be the Canadian talking most of the time.
But Linus Tech Tips, Paul's Hardware, Jay's 2 Cents, they all have really good actual tutorials on how to put a computer together.
They do.
Don't watch the ones where they're just throwing something together quick to make a video. Watch their actual tutorial videos.
Yes.
I don't necessarily need a laptop because I've got my phone. If I'm going to go anywhere away from where I'm sitting right now, I've got my phone for that. So I've never taken my laptop anywhere. So if I needed to put a desktop in, that'd be fine. I could totally be okay with doing that. The laptop is just cool because it's small and I can stuff it in a corner when I'm done with it.
Yeah, you don't do any gaming or anything like that, right?
No, once again, any kind of I barely play any video games, and if I do, it'd be something on my cell phone.
Okay.
I play Solitaire or Free Cell on my laptop, but barely ever.
And any computer can play that.
Yeah, but you have a smart TV?
No, my roommate does, but I've got just a regular television, like a normal flat screen TV.
Okay.
It still can handle it.
Yeah, if you have an HDMI in and out import on your TV, you can hook your computer direct to your TV. You don't even have to worry about having a monitor since you're not going to be doing any gaming.
Yeah, the television that's in my bedroom, I could definitely hook a computer to. My roommate already told me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just go to something with an AMD APU, and that'll suit your purposes fine.
Fine Ape says, "What you got against the Snow Mexicans?" I don't have anything against them. I don't even know who they are.
Canadians.
Oh, the Canadians.
Yeah, Canada's just cold Mexico, so there's no Canadians or snow Mexicans.
What do I got against them? I don't know. You tell me why someone would wear sandals with socks.
Easy, I'm doing that right now.
I don't do that.
I've been made fun of my entire life for that, man.
If I'm going to wear sandals, I'm going to wear sandals without socks, okay?
Well,
but if it's cold, you wear proper shoes or boots. I mean, come on.
Feet warm and comfortable, man. Come on.
I don't understand it. I don't like it. That's what I got. That's what I got.
You're a sandalist.
I'm sandalist.
I'll even give you one better. I haven't worn them in years, but I even wore flip-flops with socks.
Okay, that's even worse. I'd say just wear the flip-flops as they are. You don't need socks.
I do want a pair of those gamer socks that they had on the one of the Linus Tech Tips latest videos. Not to wear for gaming, man. Just like for a pair of slippers.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. All right, guys. I think we're out. We're done. It's been an hour. I'm gonna. I don't want to think about that either, Fine Ape. I'm gonna end it right here. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for taking part in the conversation and hanging out. And we'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go see the new Star Wars movie. So
socks and sandals killed the chat.
It did.
No, him going to see the new Star Wars movie killed the chat.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually
going to go see the new Star Wars movie killed 2.5 hours and $30 of his money.
Yeah, that too.
I'll
No.
save you the time, Night Strike. It sucks.
I know it does.
Everything I heard, it sucks.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still gonna go see it. But I don't. But it doesn't. They're not showing it till 9.
You are a masochist.
So is Matt.
Well, we know that already.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take a movie review from Matt if he was the last person on the planet and the movie would save my life. That dude thinks every movie is the greatest movie ever.
Uh-huh.
And here's the thing. I'm not going to judge a movie until I've seen it myself, so take that.
I always tell people my roommate and his wife like to go to the movies during the summertime, and they always come home, and I'm like, hey, how was the movie? And they're like, oh, we don't want to ruin it for you. And I'm like, look, either you tell me how it ends or you don't. I'm still not going to go watch it.
Yeah, I have no desire to see the new Star Wars movie. I just don't care. They killed Star Wars for me with that.
I'm gonna go see it just to get rid of it, and then I'm kind of done, and I'm just gonna watch The Mandalorian until it ends.
Oh God!
You seem more like a matinee type of guy to me, though, Night Strike. I figured you'd like to go to the movies at like noon when nobody's there, and you can enjoy the whole thing by yourself.
Actually, I could have seen Star Wars at 7 o'clock last night, but I didn't.
And what was it last weekend or the weekend before where everybody was trying to get me to go see The Mandalorian on my show? And I was like, no, I'm not watching it. I don't care enough about Star Wars anymore to care about watching it.
Hold on, I gotta say this right. And that is why you failed.
It's not a failure.
Return of the Jedi was the last Star Wars movie.
Revenge of the Sith wasn't too bad.
Yes, it was.
All right,
No.
so
it was better. It was the best of the 3 prequels. Damn sure.
So with that,
yeah,
I'm
probably.
gonna wait. I'm going to see the new Star Wars movie at 9. So I guess I'm gonna go see if anybody's struggling, and if they are, well then I may go play some video games, and then we'll go from there. I'll take one last question from Jacob S. He's saying, "What are your thoughts on the goings on of Virginia?" Well, from what I heard, it's gone from 93 counties to 102 counties. So, all I'm going to say is Virginia, fight on. And with that, that's all I can say. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to go get some food, play some video games, go see Star Wars, and spend time with family. So with that, we'll see you guys on the next one. And before I forget, shut up, be infringed!
Yeah.
What would Gizzard say?
Give him the bird. Yeah, check out Gizzard Gary tonight on Foul Territory, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And Rob D says, just wait for it to come out on Netflix or Redbox. I thought it'll be on Netflix, but it'll Netflix. Yeah, I'm combining Redbox and Netflix. Here we go. It'll definitely be on Disney Plus because they got all the Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus. That was like their big launch selling point was they're gonna have all the Star Wars stuff on there.
All right.
Did you see they put all the original Disney movies on there, and there's a PSA at the beginning of all of them about cultural appropriation and sexism and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like this is from a different time, basically. Don't judge us based on what they did back then.
Yeah, and real quick, Artisan Tony put it out there in the chat. Everybody go to Artisan Tony's channel and watch his latest video. He's got a really, really cool giveaway going with a Mantis X for Christmas. So go over there, give him a thumbs up, give him a sub, and enter that contest.
Tony, have you found that stock yet in your storage room? Let me know. You know what we're talking about. Go find that stock. All right, we're done. We're done here. We're finally done. So check out Artisan Tony's video. He's giving away an anti-training system. And with that, we're not going to be here next week for Hit or Miss. We're not doing it on Tuesday. And I don't know if we're doing the Friday Night Strike because next week is Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. I'm not going to do Hit or Miss on Christmas Eve. I'm going to be spending time with family and whatnot because I hardly see them any other time of the day or any other week. And Other than that, yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Now, how do I turn this damn thing off?
I don't know.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
I still think that's funny though when you say